That should work now. That should work now. Come on, man. I'm going to say again, welcome back to my channel. If you're not done already, subscribe to Off the Canvas Boxing, like the video, and do all of that amazing stuff. We're trying to get to 400 subs, guys. So if you guys can click the subscribe button, that would be absolutely. Hopefully you guys can hear me. It appears that the mic was a little bit on the loose side. So I just sort of yanked it in a bit more. So hopefully that should be all good. This is another episode of the Fighting Talk Show, hosted by myself, Ibrahim Omar from Off the Canvas Boxing. So there's a lot to talk about. In the meantime, whilst everybody's jumping on, we're going to touch upon a little bit more of last week's events, last week's fight between Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. And for me, I can't, it was an amazing fight. I was really, really looking forward to that fight. And when I saw that fight, I was with a lot of the great defeaters of the Undefeated podcast. That was absolutely immense. So, yeah, what a fight. Anyway, big up Quality Shot. Much love to him. And subscribe to Quality Shot as well, particularly if you're into... Do you know what? Just subscribe to him anyway. But he does a lot of great content with regards to anything ball related. So cricket, badminton, flipping, tennis. Yeah, it does, to be fair, a whole lot of others, and he also does boxing as well. So big up Quality Shot, always show much love and support. Big him up as well. He says can't stay but wanted to keep up, wanted to take up the good way. Make sure you guys subscribe to this guy. Listen, big man, shout, come on, man. That's what we're talking about, yeah. But actually star it. I don't know what that star does. I think it pins the comment, but absolutely like and subscribe. So I'm gonna put it in the banner below. Jeez, hey, you see this, man? Yo, listen, when I worked that out, yeah, I was gassed. Yeah, big man thing. I was like, how are these men doing? Yeah, at the big streams. Yeah, so maybe you need 1,000 or flipping 20k subs to even think about doing this here. But fam, you don't need that kind of stuff. Anyway, boom. Last week I was talking about Amir Khan versus Kell Brook, and I think, you know what, I was right on the outcome, but not on the outcome, but on the method of how they would win. But I was wrong on the type of fighter, and you know what, I talked about it. I said Kell Brook, his ways to win was to control his emotions, closing the gap and being extremely accurate. And you have to give it, he done exactly that. But I did not expect Amir Khan to be completely shot. So well, I expected him to be shot to an extent, but not to that level. So, hopefully he sails off into the sunset. Amir Khan I'm speaking about Amir Khan. Hopefully he sails into the sunset, and then he's all good as well. Okay, he's got a hit TV show, flipping houses in Dubai. He's what is he? The president or ambassador for, I don't know whether it's Dubai or Pakistan in regards to the WBC boxing. So he does a lot, man. And also he has that Amir Khan Foundation. He does the celebrity stuff. So come on, man. And he's got a wonderful family. So big him up. But fam, today's video, we are going to talk about, some serious topics. Okay, some serious topics. Mainly the whole Ukraine versus Russia. Now, yeah, for those of you guys who don't know the format of the show, if you're new to the show, I'm going to speak about my thoughts and give my opinion. I'm going to open up the lines afterwards and send the link. So if anyone wants, you guys want to jump in, you're more than welcome to jump in and give an opinion or alternative opinion, or if you agree with me as well, that even better. Well, I say even better. I sound egotistical, but nevertheless, let's talk about the Ukraine versus Russia circumstance. Now, it's something that is related to boxing. Now, I didn't want to go into politics on this channel. Not something I really wanted to do. I didn't really care about Boris Johnson and them. Big man thing, it's long. Yeah, I could care less. But this one actually coincides with boxing compared to a lot of other sports because of the nature of of what's going on, because Kiev in itself and who occupied Kiev, who's in charge of it, and it's all a bit of a madness. So, how first and foremost, we've got to say this: pray for Ukraine. Absolutely, pray for Ukraine. And unfortunately, what's happened is that Russia has invaded Ukraine. Reason being, I'm just gonna explain it in very layman terms here, because I'm a simple guy. I like simple stuff done, yeah. So I'm gonna explain it to simple-minded people. Anyway, what's happened was Ukraine, Russia were all part of one big, I wouldn't say happy family, but they're all part of one big country. Okay. Since what, the 9th century, they're all part of one big country. And after the Cold War, I think it was in what, the 70s, 80s, I can't remember that time. Anyway, they both split. Ukraine seeked independence from Russia, and you know, I think that was in like what, 91 they seek independence. Anyway, now you got a guy a few years later called Vladimir Putin is all of a sudden decided that, you know what, fam, I like the good old days. I'm very nostalgic. Yeah, let's go back to the old times. And Ukraine, you know, I want to take you back, you know, you guys back again. Okay, I know you guys don't want it, but like it's by force basically. That coupled with Ukraine trying to join NATO, which is a what is a I think it's a international kind of a group of military assets where you could like do a lot of military. Basically, like if anyone of your veterans got beef, all of them can kind of back it. Basically, that's how it works. Anyway, fast forward, yeah, we have the two Klitschko brothers, okay, in the boxing. Vladimir Vitaly Klitschko, and Vitaly Klitschko happens to be the mayor of Kiev. I've talked about it in the previous videos in regards to Usyk AJ, and I said that AJ, you can't ask Vladimir Klitschko for advice like you used to do, because right now Vladimir Klitschko is or his brother's mayor of Kiev. So if you had me say that kind of stuff, I was talking with regards to the AJ reference. Okay, boom. Now, unfortunately, um, because of how it works in the city, men between the age of 18 to 60 are being told to not leave the country. Okay, that includes that category includes Alexander Usyk. It includes Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko. Okay, um, and this was sort of, and also as well, that coupled with the fact that the Ukrainian president is also taking part in this in all of this, so it's a bit of a problem. Yeah, like, well, I would say a little bit of a problem. It's a huge, huge, huge issue. Okay, um, Alexander Usyk as well is, I think, is there as well in Ukraine. He came over to the UK to do some paperwork for AJ Usyk, and then he's gone back over to Ukraine. He's in Ukraine at the moment, so it is a sad state of events over there. We also have another fighter, Vlasov. Okay, Victor Vlasov, who's currently about to have his fight this Saturday. I think he's fighting this Saturday. Ukrainian international fighting this Saturday, and his family are in Ukraine. So by the time he said that, I'm going to finish off my fight. You know, I spoke to my family. They live in. I think the guidance is, if you hear above, go like underneath tables, or go down, or go a bunker. So as soon as he's done with his fight on the weekend, he's flying over, or not flying over. He's flying to neighboring countries to then enter Ukraine via car, because, of course, the Russian military have attacked a couple of airports, or one airport in particular, so it's unsafe to fly into Ukraine directly. So they have to basically drive into it. It's a sad reality, but like, it's so mad at the dunya. So I wanted to talk about it with regards to boxing, okay? And now I explained a bit more, so hopefully that all made sense and how everything's going. Anyway, big up Osborne, bare love, bro. Can't tune in proper because I'm not out overly. Come on, man. Big listen. You know when people are showing a lot of support, like, I really appreciate you guys, yeah. But I'm out. Hopefully make it back to air. Have a good show. Everyone should listen, subscribe to the channel. subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. Okay, all right, what's going on? Hold on, I think internet might have crashed again. Apologies, guys. Let me know if I'm lagging. Let me know if I'm lagging in the comment section below, because the internet was all good. Or I don't seem to. It doesn't appear to. I don't appear to understand what's going on, because everything looks in mint condition. What on earth could be going on? Hold on. Apologies, guys. What the? Hopefully that's all good. Let me know if you guys can see me, hear me, and I was about to say smell me, but that's a bit weird, family. Yo, if you man start anyway. Yo, I was about to say some mad stuff. Anyway, yeah. What does this mean for boxing? Okay, boxing. The WBO president has come out, or I think is being said to come out, according to Michael Spencer, saying that has revealed that the sanctioning bodies are considering removing all Russian boxers from their rankings and not sanctioning any world title, regional title fights in Russia until the invasion of Ukraine ends, according to Michael Benson. Second part, I understand. The part where he's talking about stopping any kind of shows that take place in Russia, I'm here for it. It's happened in a lot of sports. I think they pulled the Formula One, they pulled the Champions League final from Russia. Like I'm for that, yeah. Like 100%. You can't just basically, these sporting events are to bring tourism and to bring light to the country. And right now, I'm not sure this is the best place to bring light to at this present moment of time. Anyway, yeah. With regards to banning all boxers or Russian boxers from their rankings, I think that's unfair. I think that's extremely unfair, especially on the boxers, simply because the boxers haven't chose that the boxers haven't agreed for this to take place to begin with. They haven't. Like this is going. Even if the boxers, like the boxers don't, for me, for the most part, I don't even think they even want this to take place. So imagine like in the UK, Boris Johnson decides, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to invade like certain countries, and no one and here in the UK, we've not done anything wrong. Yeah, we've stuck to the law. We do our own thing, but all of a sudden, Bojo decides to go haywire. Yeah, I'm gonna be a bit pissed here if I start training for something and I get pulled from it, or the decision that Bojo takes, if that makes sense. So for this, in terms of the sanctioning any world title fight or anything to be cancelled, that is pretty much bang out of order. Okay, but it's a consideration that's taking place. I know that they are doing they're pulling off banks, but those are banks that fund Russian military and Russian government, so that makes sense. The boxers, I'm not being funny, like first and foremost, they don't even have a huge profit. We're not talking about no Conor McGregor's that type of a boxer. We're talking about Bivol, Beterbiev, David Avanesiev, Vlasov, etc. Okay, these are not like flipping billionaires, like in terms of the sporting industry. So kind of stopping them from box, for me, it's like it's not even going to be a drop in the ocean. It's not really going to make much of a difference, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. It's not going to make a huge difference. Yeah, you're not even going to hurt them financially. You're not going to hurt them from a reputational standpoint. You're punishing people that don't deserve to be punished, and you're stopping fighters from fighting that have nothing to do with it. It's a sad state. So for me, that's something I wouldn't do. Okay, but like hopefully the people of Ukraine can come through this. Hopefully that they can seek refuge, and the fact that they can. I'm hoping that this ends swiftly. I don't want this to continue. I'm really honest with you. I do not want this to continue. Okay. So that's a sort of talk on the whole Russia Ukraine situation and the effects that may have on boxing. Let's talk about real boxing now. Okay. Well, all of it is interlinked, but let's talk about boxing entirely. Okay. Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury has been announced. What a fight! What a fight! Okay. Also, I'm going to drop the link as well. Whilst I'm running through this, so if anyone wants to jump on, they're more than welcome to jump on. In terms of the boxers, in terms of hold on, let me just drop the link. Let me right. Copy link. It's messing up a bit. Apologies. Boom. Boom. Yeah. All right. Why do I keep saying boom? It's a bit mad. Anyway, in terms of Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury, that's going to take place in Wembley Stadium. Okay, let me just take this banner off. That will take place at Wembley Stadium, 23rd of April, I believe. Yeah, I was getting confused. I was thinking because I ain't got my glasses yet. So anyway, 23rd of April, that fight will take place at Wembley Stadium. Tickets will be on sale midday. Bob Arum came out and said that he wants to, how do I say it? He wants to sell out 90,000 seats a stadium, and he wants to get a million pay-per-view buys. Now, I always say that God loves a dreamer. So, but for that, yo, you're gonna have to do a lot of promotion for that to take place. Dillian Whyte is not doing promotion for this fight in particular, so there is no way Bob Arum is going to sell 1 point something million pound pay-per-view plus 90k seats at stadium. The 90,000 seat at stadium is a bit interesting because the only way that could take place is if this stadium, the prices of it is around 40 to 50 quid. If it's 40 to 50 quid, I'm not being funny. I think that they can maybe squeeze the lemon a bit and maybe get that 90k seater. However, if it's at a price of a boxing event at Wembley Stadium, then there is no hope and no prayer that this fight will go anywhere near that. No way. Absolutely impossible. Absolutely impossible. So, big up Tony as well. Smash the like button. Helps out a lot. I can't see how many likes there are. It's annoying because on StreamYard it doesn't really show how many. Anyway, like let's say that they could work on, big man thing. Big man thing is something they could work on. And if I have YouTube on at the same time, it messes up the stream. I found out. Okay, it's all trial and error because when I've had lags, I've had to sort of do a lot of trial and error. I was streaming at one time to Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, and that caused a lot of lag. When I stopped doing that, oops, about to put my finger up, guys. It started working a bit. Ethernet cable helped out a lot. So yeah, definitely smash the like button. Got off on a bit of a tangent, but ain't no way that's selling 90,000 seat stadium. Also, who do you guys think is going to win as well? Fury or Dillian Whyte? Okay, because I'm of the belief that it's closer to what people think. I would say this is more of like Fury is the favorite. Fury is the clear favorite, but I do believe that Fury's legs are going. I do believe that Fury is slowing down. I do believe that Fury, it will be struggling to beat Whyte. However, do I think that he can get over the line, Fury? Potentially. But if he does, it's going to be he's going to be left bruised, bumped, and I was about to say Morel, but yeah, he's going to be left with a lot of bruises on his way out. Put it that way. So for me, Tyson Fury, I got a better watch out for Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte has got a great chance to beat Tyson Fury. Okay, I hope Dillian Whyte beats Tyson Fury. I'm a Dillian Whyte fan. Okay, I hope he beats Fury. Yeah, and I'm going to be jumping for joy. But if I had to put my neck on the line and I have to give a prediction, my whole house is on it. I would, of course, side with Tyson Fury to win, but I do hope that Dillian Whyte wins. I'm one of those guys, basically. Okay. Now, I don't do that for every prediction where I give like an insurance policy and go, oh, like, I hope this guy wins. Yeah. But a lot. But I'm gonna predict the other fighter. I don't do that all the time. This is the only time, to be fair, I'm probably ever gonna do it. Yeah. So it's what it is. Even for AJ Usyk, I might even say AJ to win. Like that's what I'm at. Tony Fury says, "Why is Sleeping Fury?" Great point, because when I was speaking to Danny Glover, okay, I think it was Instagram Live, and Xavier Miller was on the chat, and I was like, yeah, like hopefully Dillian White beats Tyson Fury. And Xavier Miller, who happens to train Dillian White, put in like sleep emojis. So yeah, I think that's the aim. That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna cause maximum carnage too. And you know what? With Dillian, it's different to AJ. AJ mentally, out of all of the top level heavyweights, I would say he's the most fragile, or I would say he's the least mentally strong, if that makes sense, compared to White, Wilder, Fury, and Usyk. But Dillian White would do everything in his power to not let Fury get in his head. I'm telling you that for free. So hopefully Dillian White wins. Moving swiftly on. Okay, last couple of topics before we head off. Okay, let's somebody jump so quickly. We might head off. We'll talk about Anthony Joshua. Okay, I'm gonna get a drink, so hold on. AJ. Yeah, I might go for one, guys. Apologies, but yeah, we got a bit of a problem, AJ. What's going on here? What is going on here? Okay, for those of you guys can't see, this is Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. I don't know whether it's what fight it was, but this is Fury Wilder fight. I think it's Fury Wilder 3, to be fair. I think it's Fury Wilder 3, because the referee is I think it's Fury Wilder 3. And I'm just sitting there thinking, and this came as part of a video. So one, why is AJ publishing training videos of himself training when Alexander Usyk isn't doing anything the like? Dillian White isn't doing anything similar. Tyson Fury isn't. Well, I don't. What Tyson Fury? No, I don't even think Tyson Fury would be doing anything remotely similar. Okay, Deontay Wilder wouldn't do it. Yeah, but for me, you're just giving intelligence to Alexander Usyk to basically work out your game plan, or see how you're doing from a sharpness perspective and from the fluidity in terms of how good you are setting up the punches perspective. And he would basically reverse engineer that and work on a game plan to beat that. Okay. So especially we've worked on certain specific combination punches. Okay. Usyk will be prepared for those ones. Okay. So right now you're just giving him intelligence. At this point, you might as well just give him sparring footage at the same time. That's how I see it. I'll hop on. I may log as I am driving. Big up as well. Big up as well, Tony B. Yeah, you're more than welcome to jump on. And yeah, with regards to AJ, why is he giving his sparring? Why are you doing that? And why are you caring about these man? Why? This hasn't got to, you didn't lose to Wilder, you didn't lose to Fury, you lost to Usyk, mate. You should have his face of anything, okay? But it's a sad state of affairs in terms of AJ, and I hope that he's got a trick. Why is he with AJ Fernandez as well? Good question. What the hell is he doing there? Rav, I'm concerned with AJ. Hope AJ gets his stuff in order, and I hope he beats Usyk, provided that everything doesn't go left in well, it is going left in Ukraine. Hopefully, it doesn't escalate further in Ukraine. And if I don't know, hopefully it doesn't. Let's just pray it doesn't. Okay, we're gonna pray for the people. We're not gonna explore that possibility, because I was thinking about it today. I'm not gonna explore that possibility. So anyway, big up Tony Review. We're gonna have Tony Review on. Yeah, much love for the support as well. What are you saying, bro?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Robbie, are you American? I didn't know you're American.
Yeah, yeah, all the way from America to the UK.
What part of America are you from?
So I'm in Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. Wow. Okay. Okay. Do you know what's crazy? I stayed in Jacksonville 3 months, which isn't too far from Georgia, I believe. Yeah, we flew into Atlanta around 2016. So, wow. Okay. Let me also, can I ask you a quick question? How is it over there perceiving what's going on in Ukraine and Russia? Are you guys getting the same info that we're getting, or you guys get a different type of a view?
No, it's pretty much like it's not a lot. Like as far as what Biden is talking about, he's talking about not going in doing sanctions. That's really all that's really been said. And the footage that we get from the media is like it's showing missiles in the air, but not really showing a lot of
Well, I think you're cutting out a bit. I think you might be cutting out. Oh yeah, you're back on now. I can hear you.
what I was worried about driving. Can you hear me now?
Perfect. You're back on, mate. You're back on.
No, all I was saying was really all that's been said over here is Biden's doing on Russia.
It's cutting up, Tony, mate. It's cutting up. It's cutting up. Might have to put you back out and then we'll put you back in a bit. It's cutting up a little bit. Yeah, I can't hear you, mate. I can't hear you. All right, we'll come back to Tony in a bit, okay? Hopefully he's not going through any sort of tunnel. We'll call you back in like five.
On footage.
Actually, wait. Is it working? I think it's working now. All right, let's go. Nah, it's cut off, Tony. Sorry, apologies, mate. We're gonna come back to you in a bit. We're gonna come back to you in 5 minutes, all right? Hopefully it's all sorted out a little bit, all right? Big up Tony as well. Hopefully that it gets that bit sorted out. I'll bring him out in a couple of 1 minutes because yeah, the internet's not interneting, okay? Big up Lineal Ray. Showed a lot of support last week as well. Anyway, I don't want to see this anymore. AJ, big man thing. Yeah, that's not my thing anymore. Is what it is. Anyway, big up Lawrence Okoli versus Sislak, okay? Tough opponent. Lawrence Okoli trying to defend his world title shot. So hopefully Lawrence beats him, KOs him. In my opinion, I think this is going to be a straight, like, I think he's just going to absolutely smoke him. I think Lawrence Okoli, I think after that, I think he should pursue a fight with Bradis, or I can't remember who's the other cruiserweight he's got the belt, but pursue a unification bout. If you can't get those, move up because these men are not serious. Bradis is calling out Jake Paul. It's long for you, man. But big up Lawrence Okoli, and I hopefully he gets the job done. I also believe that Josh Taylor would win on the weekend. I think he'll probably look a lot more rustier because he's been off for quite a period of time and he's really drained out the weight from what I can see. So I'm looking at a points win for Josh Taylor, maybe even a close win, a very edgy win, but a points win nevertheless for Josh Taylor. Anyway, we'll bring up Tony's review again. Hopefully this works. Tony, let's go.
Yo, give me 1 second. Because, like I said, this is what I was worried about because I'm driving. So my reception is going to go in and out.
Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. I'll ask you a quick question. Who have you got between, well, you said it before, White versus Fury? Why do you think White will beat Fury?
So I do a lot of predictions over on my channel, and I like to say I'm batting 1,000 on these predictions. And how I see it is this. Fury knows what his weakness is, and it's what I said before this fight manifested, that he was really soft to the body. Every training video you've seen, Fury's been doing body shots, whether it's Parker, just aiming for the bodies, or miscellaneous sparring partners, aiming for his body to try to toughen him up. Now, I think that's going to be the beginning of the end for him because you saw it against Cunningham. who's also around 6'4". I think he's 6'3" when he
Yeah.
came up from cruiserweight to fight Fury. Fury is not the best against overly short guys. We saw him look sloppy against Chisora when he fought him the first time, not the second time, but the first time. Cunningham, he really
Mm.
couldn't hit him a lot. And, Dillian White is on the short side at 6'4" at heavyweight nowadays. And what I think is going to end up happening is he's going to be so conscious about that body getting tagged that he's going to get caught by an overhand and he's going to get put down. And the difference in Dillian White and Deontay Wilder is this. Deontay Wilder only has one punch. That's it.
Mm.
One punch. And only one punch is hard. Everything Dillian White throws is a hard punch.
Mm.
And then think about this. This is the other part that I'm going to leave you with to think about.
Mm.
Tyson Fury, his entire career, has gotten away with being taller, bigger than all the guys he's fought. So what he does is he'll get off his shots, kind of like Klitschko, kind of like Lewis, and then he holds on and he leans on top of you to get you tired. Now, the difference with Dillian White is the dude works out for strength. Everybody calls AJ the bodybuilder, but
Mm.
realistically, Dillian White, he power lifts. He lifts for power. So he's
Mm.
real big on weights too, but it's for strength. And he's big. At 6'4", he's like
Come on.
255. Normally, he's been up to 260. So when Tyson Fury goes to lay on him, I don't think he's going to be able to. I think he's going to get pushed off, and he's not going to get them rest breaks that he's normally getting. And we don't know what Tyson Fury
Mm.
looks like when he can't break in the clinch. He may get tired for the first time.
Mm. That
I
makes
see
so much
Fury going
sense.
to sleep.
Nah, that makes so much sense. I can, like, the way you're describing it, because I do believe that Fury will be doing that. He'll be doing the whole leaning, the whole clinching, all of those kind of tactics. The thing is with Fury, at every moment when I'm thinking about doubting him, he pulls it out the bag. He really does. And at the point where he is fighting a lesser fighter, I think he lets his guard down a bit more. But with fighters such as, the thing is with Chisora, it was so long ago. I wouldn't say 2014, I think 2013 he fought Chisora. That's a while ago. That's over what, a little under 10 years ago. With the Kronk style, him trying to revert back to the a lot more elusive style. Yeah, you know what? You could be onto something. You really, really could be onto something. And quick question as well. What do you think of AJ Usyk and how you see that fight going in particular?
So I'll get into that fight in just a moment, but I want to touch back. So you said
Oh yeah,
about
yeah,
the
sure.
elusive. Yeah, yeah. So Fury can be elusive, right? But here's the
Mm.
thing, and I will say this: as a technical fighter, Tyson Fury is one of the best. Him and Usyk by far the best technically.
Oh yeah,
However,
agreed.
here's the thing: every fighter Dillian White has ever fought cannot stay away from him. No matter how much they move, he always stays on top of them like glue. He's very good at cutting off the ring and forcing them to stay in the fight, which again is, even if Fury tries to be elusive, it's something he's not used to. He's used to being able to jab you and keep away and move around you. But if he can't step around or jab away and Dillian's on top of him, again, something he's not used to. But as
Mm.
far as AJ Usyk goes, here's what I look at, and I knew, I predicted this the first fight that AJ would get beat, and I said he would lose on the scorecards, and I said it would be so one sided that they couldn't rob Usyk. Like I knew he was going to get beat as bad as he did, and here's the issue that I
Wow.
see.
How did you see that?
So for me, Anthony Joshua, I'm gonna tell you why. Anthony Joshua at 250 pounds or rounds about 250, high 240s, 250s, he had
Yeah,
a lot of
he's
power. Whenever
yeah,
he
he's
hit people, you could see him hurt people. But when he fought Andrew Ruiz, the
yeah,
first clean shot he hit Ruiz with, he put him on his butt. He got
yeah.
sloppy, got caught, never recovered, okay? His
Mm.
strength and size had nothing to do with that loss. He got sloppy. Then
Mm.
you see him lose all the weight, says he's not going to bodybuild no more. He's not going to be a weightlifter. He's going to focus on boxing, that he can't be
Yeah.
splitting what he does. So he goes in there against Ruiz. He fights him. He boxes well for 12 rounds. But this is
Yeah.
what I was looking at. I didn't look at the positive of him winning. I looked at the negative. I said, well, wait a minute. When he fought Ruiz the first time, the first clean shot he hit him with, he put him on his back.
Yeah.
However, in this fight, he hit him like Ruiz was a punching bag and couldn't hurt him, couldn't stop him. Yeah, he boxed around him, but he didn't hurt him once. He didn't slow him down. He didn't stop him. Ruiz walked through everything he threw at him. Then going into the next fight against Pulev, I watched AJ literally land like 6 uppercuts in a row, and Pulev
Yeah.
was still standing. And I knew at that point, AJ is not a natural born power puncher. He relies on strength and weight. If you take away his strength, you take away his weight, you strip him of his power. And that's what makes him great. So I knew Usyk, who has a granite chin, was going to outbox him.
Do you know what?
So
I
go
understand that
ahead.
logic. It makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. However, this, for me, with regards to the AJ versus Pulev, I didn't think he lacked power. The thing is, with AJ, he's most powerful around maybe 250. For the last couple of fights, he's been at what, early 240s, and the power hasn't really translated. But I think he's trying to minimize as much damage on the on the on the return punches as much as possible, because against Ruiz, the second fight, for me, I just saw it as a very good. Do you know what? I saw it as a tactically good performance, because this guy is a big blob. You're out here trying to win your world titles back. There isn't really a huge need to go in and look even better than you should do. And the most, how would I say it, effective way to beat a Ruiz is literally just to jab and move him off. So I didn't, on that front, I didn't agree. But on the Pulev, I can see how, because when he lost a lot of weight, he lost a lot of power at the exact same time. Against Usyk, the reason why I think that he didn't beat Usyk is not because of the Usyk's chin. I think it's actually AJ's mentality was a lot responsible, because he came into that fight like he really liked. He tried to outbox him, and it just didn't work. Had he come in at 250 or I don't know, maybe 255, I'd try to just take off his head. I think AJ probably would have at least potentially would have knocked him down at the very, or at least would have rocked him to an extent. Because I think AJ, all of his last opponents, he's really put a huge dent into them. But this one, I think AJ came in with the wrong game plan and the wrong mentality, and it just all went left. But I don't know, do you think the AJ's mentality was partly responsible for the reason why he lost to Usyk, or do you think Usyk was so good that it didn't really make much of a difference?
So I'm going to touch back on everything you said, and then I'll come to that question at the
This,
end,
all
okay?
right,
So I agree with you. Tactically, against Ruiz, he fought a great fight, tactically.
yeah,
However, when I look at people fight and I break down and I analyze what's going on, I
mm,
don't just take into account that they have a good performance, because, yeah, they can look great, but compared to what? What are we comparing great to? What are we comparing that to? So I compare that performance to what I've seen AJ do in the past to himself, right? Now, I agree. He didn't really get into exchanges. He stayed at distance, kept Ruiz at bay. But here's the
mm,
problem. He hit Ruiz 550,000 times, and Ruiz couldn't hit him once. And he did absolutely nothing to him. Now, whether he was
yeah,
trying to go for the knockout or not, when you hit somebody 800,000 times, when you hit somebody 1,000,000 times and they don't return fire, they should be breaking down. And Ruiz wasn't. He wasn't battle worn at all. There was points in the fight where Ruiz was so frustrated that he was just standing in the middle with his hands down, waving AJ to come forward. And a guy who
mm,
has been isn't going to drop his hands like that. And then
mm,
against Pula, yeah, he got the stoppage, But Pulev was pushing 40 years old. Now, Pulev has always remained at number one. How he did that, I don't know, because Pulev hasn't fought a top 10 fighter since he fought Klitschko. And like I said, AJ hit him with so many power shots, and the dude just kept coming and coming and coming. And had
mm,
AJ had the power that I believe he used to have, he would have stopped him in the first or second round, connecting shots like he connected. So coming
mm,
to full circle, back to your question about mentality,
mm,
yes, I believe AJ is mentally weak because there have been so many people claiming that AJ is a bodybuilder. He's not a fighter. He's a bodybuilder. You're a bodybuilder. You're not a boxer. You're a model. You can't box. You just should do modeling. You should do this, do that. You're too nice. That he's listening to all these people that don't matter. And he's changing what made him great. And what made him great was being that bodybuilder, being that model, being too nice, being who he was, the essence of him. And
mm,
when you change who you are and you try to be something you're not, normally you fall short against something that's great. And Usyk is great.
mm,
So I think it's his mentality. Yes, in the rematch, can he beat Usyk? I don't know. To me, it depends on how big he comes in. If he comes back in around 230s, he's gonna lose the fight. He'll lose. It's not even he'll lose worse than he did in the first one. If he comes around high 240s, he may have a shot, but that's the only way, in my
mm,
opinion.
mm. Hopefully, he does come in at a high weight. But you know what? For me, it's more so on the mentality, on focus on giving Usyk damage, because I know at the moment of time, like it's hard to comprehend giving Usyk damage when he's trying to defend his country and potentially maybe on the front line. But AJ has to be focused and lasered on that day. He has. I don't want to hear no, because all of this asking Clifton Mitchell, who's the head of security for that fight, asking him, "Oh, like, what do you think? Like, what's your opinions?" Or watching fights in the change room and running to the ring, and I was like, for me, it was just all wrong. It was all wrong for AJ. For me, I want AJ to reclaim his world titles back, but at the very minimum, I'd want him to put in an amazing performance. And when I mean amazing performance, I felt that after the Usyk fight, I felt that he didn't even. I thought it was a 3 out of 10. I thought that for the first 9 rounds, he didn't even put in 100%, and after that, he was just drained in terms of mentally because he let Usyk get in his head. And you know what? When you said things like age is listening to the opinions of other people, I've been saying that for the longest year. Do you know what's mad? I've been saying it for the longest year, and I had resistance back to me saying, "Yo, it's not it's not it's not how do I say it? It's not true because you shouldn't listen to AJ interviews and etc. Because AJ doesn't articulate himself well." But I knew it, man. I said, "Nah, AJ is listening to too many people, getting into his head. Not only I don't think it's necessarily the fans. I think it's his peers within the media. I really do think it's that because like a lot of people don't listen to fans when they get to that big stage. They care more about the opinions of their peers, whether it be rappers, whether it be regardless of whether what industry they are. They care more about the opinions of who they work with because they are qualified to talk on those opinions. But hopefully, like for me, hopefully AJ wins. Also as well, you're out there in the US. Do you think Firstly, do you think Spencer Crawford will happen this year? Also, follow
I
up
don't
question.
I don't even I'm gonna be honest, I don't even care about that fight anymore because there's been
Oh, you
so
gave
much
up?
ducking going. Yeah, like I mean, you know what it's gonna be? It's gonna
Mm.
be Brooke and that's when they're gonna fight. That's how it's gonna be when both their careers are over and they need to make some money. They'll fight each other.
Nah, that's wrong, man. That is wrong. To be fair, it's a bit different because with Brooke and Khan, I think they're around the same age, and um, they're around the same stage of their careers. Crawford, I think Crawford is slightly older than Spence. I think Spence is in
He
his he's a few years older. So for Spence, if he doesn't fight Crawford, Crawford will be for me be the first one to retire out of the pair of them. So like the oldest is really on Spence to take the fight, but again he's fighting Ugas. Do you think Ugas will kind of have any problems to fight or any could cause any issues to fight in Spence, or do you think it's just Spence all around?
So I'm gonna throw this at you real fast. Just a comment on what you just said about Spence being the younger guy. So
Yeah.
here's the problem that I don't think you're taking into account. Okay,
Okay.
while Crawford while Crawford is older, he lives a better life. He doesn't get drunk at the club. He doesn't blow up to
Mm.
100 pounds outside of fights. He hasn't been in a car wreck, flung, and then been induced into a coma. Then, after a fight, going into another fight, finds out that he has a torn retina. Like, the thing
Mm.
about Earl Spence Jr. is there could be more internal damage done to him that
Mm.
he, nor I, nor the doctors have even discovered yet. So Spence's wear and tear on his body is actually probably much greater than what Crawford's is, even though Crawford is the elder. So that's another aspect to look at. As far as Ugas versus Spence, first and foremost, Ugas, the PBC, they set up Manny Pacquiao. He was set up because Ugas's opponent just so happened to have the same injury as Earl Spence on the same day. Bullshit. Bullshit. There's no way they both had torn retinas on the same day. Then when I watched Ugas versus Manny, Ugas had looked like he was in a full camp already training for Manny. And Manny had no idea that he was going to fight Ugas till it was announced. So the whole
Mm.
thing just shady to me. But I've never really thought highly of Ugas. When Ugas was at 140, he collected losses. When he's been up
Mm.
to 147, he's had losses. Yeah, he got the Pacquiao win, but other than that, really, who notably has he beat? Not a lot of people. So if he beats Spence, I think it's more or less due to Spence doesn't have a lot left in the tank. Because if Spence is 100%, he just breezes through Ugas. I don't think Ugas stands a chance.
Mm. Absolutely. All right, that makes complete sense. Also, last question, yeah. What's going on with Deontay Wilder? Like, I don't know what's happening. Maybe you guys are getting some correspondence over there that we're not hearing overseas. But do you know what's happening with Deontay Wilder? Is he under a rock? Is he in hiding? Is he in a bunker? I'm not. Do you know where he is? You know what's going on with him?
Look. All I know is like he was talking about retiring, and now he's doing some like mixed gender perfume or some shit. I don't even remember what it was. It was like
Yo.
some neutral gender shit that he's trying to push and sell. And look, here's my thing.
Hmm.
Deontay Wilder to me is a question mark because my
Mm.
problem with I don't know how good or how bad he actually is because Wilder hasn't fought enough top tier fighters for me to say, oh, this guy's really good, or for me to say, oh, this guy's really bad. Technically, he is nowhere near being good. However, outside of Tyson Fury, every person he's fought, he's landed the right hand and it has saved him. A win is a win. It doesn't matter if you look good winning or look bad winning. If you beat somebody, you're
Mm.
better than them regardless if it was ugly how you did it.
Yeah.
So I would like to see Wilder continue to fight. I think Chisora would be a really good fight since Chisora was calling him out. Chisora is
Yeah.
durable and take a beating. He's hard to put down and it's very hard to knock him out. And he wants to fight anybody, everybody. And I think if Wilder is as good as it is claimed that he should be, then he should be able to beat Chisora by knocking him out. If he is good as people claim. If not,
Mm.
Chisora will spark him.
Do you know what? That's a high possibility. I can see with Chisora, he's got that style. to be just onto you and fighting on you on the inside, a bit like how Fury was grabbing onto him and clinching onto him. That is Chisora all day long. If there's anyone to fight that way, it'll be Chisora. But then again, Chisora doesn't have. I would say he doesn't have the stamina in the later rounds than like a Tyson Fury. It'll be a good fight. It'll be a good fight. I don't with Deontay Wilder. Like, do you know what it is? I've grown to respect him. I've really grown to because I'm an AJ fan. I've grown to respect him in the ring for what I don't think he's. Even though he's knocked out all of his previous opponent. To be honest with you, when it comes to his previous opponents, I would question like whether they would even be in, some of them will be in top 10. Luis Ortiz is the one that a lot of people put out there. Luis Ortiz, for me, I don't know how good Luis Ortiz is. This is the thing. I don't know how good Luis Ortiz is because Luis Ortiz hasn't challenged himself against the elite individuals. He's just fought similar to Wilder, just like top 15 type of guys and beat them. So I was wondering how good Luis Ortiz is. Luis Ortiz like a gatekeeper, or is he potentially even at that period of time top 5? I don't know. So that for me, Deontay Wilder, if I was him, I'll take 1 or 2 more fights and then call it a day. At this stage, he doesn't need to box. I would fight maybe a. It's tough because Chisora, you're not really going to get much from that. It's going to be tougher than. Do you know what? I'd probably fight Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz over Chisora. If I was Deontay, I'd fight Andy Ruiz over Chisora. Chisora is a wrong style for him. Andy Ruiz first, and maybe another fight afterwards, and hope to get the belts or whoever wins the undisputed world titles. I mean, if it's Joshua wins the undisputed world titles, hopefully he does. I think that he'll be open to fight Deontay Wilder. If Tyson Fury wins it, he ain't happening. If Dillian White, no, yeah, if Usyk wins the undisputed world titles, I think he again would also be open to fighting Deontay Wilder. So I think that I think that that's what he should try to aim for. If he doesn't get that fight, call it a day. I'm not sure whether you agree with that standpoint.
No, I mean, I could see Ruiz. It'd be an easy fight to make. PBC, both in America. Like,
Yeah.
Ruiz is extremely short for a heavyweight. They claim he's 6 foot tall, but he was shorter than Radio Raheem, who's only like 5'10". So I don't know how tall Ruiz is, but he's not that tall. And it would be easy for Wilder to catch him coming in because of his height, which is
Yeah.
really the only advantage he has. So yeah, I could see that fight. That's a good fight. I think for Wilder to fight for an undisputed, the more realistic route for him would be against Dillian White. If Dillian White was to beat Fury and was to beat AJ or Usyk, White would fight Deontay Wilder because he chased him for 3 years. At this point, I think Dillian White just wants to beat him up. So that would be, in my opinion, the quickest route for Wilder to be in an undisputed fight. Whereas with AJ, we don't know. It could be the back and forth. Oh, this much money, no, this much money. I offered you this, I offered you that, and it never pans out. With Usyk, if he gets undisputed, he could just retire from boxing. We don't know if he's going to continue because what more is there to achieve? You were undisputed at cruiserweight. You beat all the best people there. Now you're undisputed at heavyweight, and you beat all the best people there. Like there's nothing more for you to do.
Yeah.
You're the king. So
Yeah.
again, I think if Wilder was going to fight for undisputed, Dillian White would be his easiest route to that fight, just because White would fight him.
White will fight it, but would they agree to fight? Would the thing is, and this is how I see it this is how we see it from over here. We're seeing it as Team PBC. Bob Arum is a bit different, okay? Because I think that if Bob Arum will cuss you to your face, he will say the most heinous of stuff to your face, yeah. But if you call him later on and you offer him somebody for a fight, he'll be open to hearing more information, okay? I don't think it's the same case with Al Heyman, unfortunately. And I think that with Al Heyman, and the PBC. I think they tried to block Eddie Hearn from advancing in the US market. I think they tried to do everything in their power to block him. And I think that I don't even think that they would even enter a conversation. If Eddie Hearn invited them for a meeting, I don't think they will even turn up. They'll decline the meeting and tell them, mate, do on. That's my personal
Yeah,
opinion. I'm not sure whether you
but,
agree.
but that's what makes it so beautiful. With AJ, you could be right. The fight would never happen. But Dillian White, he's not signed to the zone. He's not signed to Matchroom. He only is with them by a fight by fight. So that means even if he beats Tyson Fury and beats AJ slash Usyk, whoever wins that, he's a free agent. He could go to the PBC for one fight like Canelo. He could do whatever he wants because he fights on a fight by fight contract. So he is owned by nobody.
I doubt Diddy White will leave Eddie Hearn to, unless it's a mandatory. I really doubt it. Because he's always been on a fight by fight basis. It's not just a new thing. He's always been on it. And he's always tried to get that fight with Tyson, or not Tyson, but with Deontay Wilder. And I went over to the US at some point to try to negotiate that deal. And that fell through. It is possible. It is possible. This is how I see it. I see it as if Deontay Wilder wants to fight Dillian White, that fight will happen. And if Dillian White is available, in terms of he's not fighting Fury or whoever, I think that fight will take place swiftly. If he's open, I'm telling you, if it's open, it's a bit like Amir Khan and Kell Brook. Kell Brook was chasing Amir Khan, going from one promoter to another promoter. Amir Khan didn't even want to entertain him, yeah. As soon as Amir Khan opened discussions, within 6 months is already signed, sealed, and delivered. So I think it's a very similar case with Deontay Wilder, but I do hope that Deontay Wilder reflects on his career afterwards and say, you know what, I could have done better. With Malik Scott, maybe Malik Scott's a bit free though, but hopefully you get the gist with regards to that point. But Tony, much love for the support as well, man. Also plug your channel.
Nah, I don't do that. I'm just here to support you.
Nah, come on, man. Nah, we're not accepting that round here. Apologies, mate.
No,
Ain't happening.
I'm only here to help you grow. I don't go to nobody's platform and plug my own.
Well, I'm gonna plug you, okay? You know, it's like, but you know, you remind me, like, you know, when I was younger, yeah, I used to go to like some auntie's house, yeah. My mom used to say, don't accept money from them, even if they give you money, yeah. And I'm telling you, I'll be reluctant, yeah. I'll be like, no, I can't accept that money. In my head, I'm like, bro, I should take that money from you. Take that money, that would do me wonders. But yeah, I would always say, no, I can't take it, yeah. They got to a point, yeah, where I had like a formula where I would decline a couple of times and I'll take on the third time. But everybody subscribe to Tony's review. Always showing me much love and support. And thank you very much for jumping in. And you're more than welcome to jump in every Friday or next Friday, etc. I'm not sure whether there's any big fights going forward. Is there any big fights next week? Hopefully there is. And hopefully we get some good news in regards to AJ and Alexander Usyk getting signed. Hopefully this Ukraine war ends as soon as possible. But much love and support for Tony, man.
I appreciate it. You hold it down and stay safe in the UK.
Much love, man. Much love. Oh, that has been Tony's review. Subscribe to his channel. Always show much love and support. We're going to be talking about one last. Actually, I think we talked about everything. I think that's everything. Yeah, we talked. Come on, man. Much love for you guys to all of the support. Subscribe to Off the Cameras Boxing, like the video, and I see you on Saturday straight after the Taylor versus Catterall fight. We're doing the fight reaction straight after. Those are going live. So, are we talking about that fight? Should I go live? Just you'll see my reaction. Okay, so post notifications. Peace and prosperity, guys. I'm gonna see you in the next video, guys. Hopefully this all ends on the last note. Pray for Ukraine, man.